Welcome to the show, everyone. We're live on Facebook. Hi to everybody out there. We're talking some serious stuff right now, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You guys have to be safe out there. We also have to be really smart. My first guest I have with me has been on my show many, many times. I have with me Dr. Laura Markison, and she is the owner of Mesa Naturopathic. She's also an author. She's also got with her Dr. Cynthia Hayes. Welcome to the show. Today I always talk to my guests before you come on, and you had mentioned this morning that you want to talk about COVID, and it's huge. I mean, and now especially, it's just nuts that people got the okay to go out, and they opened it up, and I don't know why they did it the way they did. I mean, they just went, go ahead, and so everybody did, and now it's a mess out there, not only here, but everywhere practically. Welcome to the show, Doctor. I know you want to talk a lot about that, so I wanted you to talk about a little bit about your article that you wrote. So tell everybody, though, a little bit about yourself, and what you do. Listen up, everyone.
Hi, my name is Dr. Laura Markison. I'm a naturopath here, and I'm a fully licensed, so is Dr. Cynthia Hayes. We're fully licensed family practitioners in the state of Arizona. We love to work with people who have all kinds of different imbalances. We go to naturopaths. We are trained to look at the root of the cause. We want to try and get the body to heal naturally on its own, removing the barriers of disease or barriers of injury, things like that. And Dr. Hayes here is a specialist with injection therapy for pain. And I'd like for at least the second half of the show we talk a little bit more about that. But the first part, I want to tell everybody out there and explain a few things about the state of our state. We've quadrupled the number of cases in the month of June. This has happened because people were gathering in groups, not wearing masks, partying, going to bars. I've seen it firsthand, the results of that in the parking lot. We do testing at my business. It's not something that I really wanted to do because it's scary for a doctor to be out in the parking lot testing people for this very dangerous virus that a lot of people are not taking seriously and don't understand. There's a lot of misinformation about masks, about how deadly this virus is if you get it, and how quickly it can spread among a group of people like wildfire. So with that said, I'm getting calls to my business. People panic once they find out that a loved one or a co-worker or somebody that they've been around has tested positive, and they want an immediate test. And the science behind getting tested doesn't work that way if you've just been exposed for a couple of days to somebody who has a positive COVID test. You need to be percolating, is my word I like to use, for at least 5 to 6 days, unless you start coming down with symptoms before that. Symptoms mean that you are infected and you should come and get a swab. You can go to several different areas. It's listed on the AZ, let's see if I get this right for their website. It's AZDHS.gov. That's our Arizona Health Department website, has testing locations there. CVS is offering testing, NextCare, in here urgent cares. A lot of places are getting booked up, and then they find out that I'm doing testing. And Dr. Hayes and I are out there sweating in our full PPE gear, which we're very willing, happy to do because people are afraid. But we do screen our calls. We do discourage people who are not having symptoms to wait the 14 days if they can. Some people need a clearance from their jobs and they need to come and get a swab whether they're having symptoms or not. And some of these test centers will not swab if you don't have symptoms. We will. The other problem we're running into is that LabCorp, who we send our swabs out to, are having a supply and demand issue right now because of the rapid increase in infections and people wanting and needing testing. So why would you get a swab? You get a swab, and when would you get it? You get it on day around 5 or 6 since your exposure. So you have to count the day that the person went and got their swab, and that the day that they found out they were positive, because sometimes it's taking 5 to 10 days for people to get their swab test results back. At our practice, we were seeing about a 2 to 3 day turnaround for the swab results. I think LabCorp is doing an excellent job and my salespeople there are really trying hard to get me more than 5 swabs a day. I'm asking for 30 for the week at one time, just in case we have a surge one day of several people coming. So we've gotten a little bit behind on our supply, but we're getting that in. With that being said, once you've had your swab and you're recovered after a couple of weeks, we can do a rapid finger test for antibodies. And that should show that you're through with making IgM antibodies, which are the infectious antibodies showing you a current infection, and that you have IgG, which is the protective antibody that shows that you have had it, you are now done, and you have had enough viral load to create protection against another infection.
Question on that real
Yes.
quickly, because a lot
Please,
of people
I
might
could just go on and on.
It's okay. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just ask myself, because it's okay.
It's okay.
Here's what I want to ask you on that note. So many people that might have had it, okay, let's say they did, could they get it again?
Yes. There's no science right now, because this is called the novel coronavirus of 2019. This also called the SARS-CoV-2 is the official name for putting in our labs. They do not have enough data yet to show how long of a resistance you could have against this, or immunity against this. They're saying about a year. I've just testing a couple people who had it. They're showing no immunity. They're showing no IgGs. They did not build up a good enough response, so they still have to be careful. It's another good reason to test your antibodies. You can have LabCorp, you can have your regular practicing physician ask them to order you the antibodies.
Real
They
quickly,
can do those.
Real quickly before we go to a break, you said that this virus is very dangerous when people
Yes.
get it. What can happen?
So we've all heard that the younger people have a easier time with this recovery. It seems like it's just a mild flu. That's not true. For people in their 30s, they're starting to clot after a month or two in their lungs. They're throwing blood clots. They're having waves of fatigue they can't get rid of months after they've had it. So I want this to go out to any person of any age. And then the little children, there's these rare cases that are getting Kawasaki kind of burning of their skin because they've had such a huge cytokine storm response, meaning a huge immunity response to it, where it's causing the systems to overreact.
The bottom line is this,
So,
guys.
yeah.
It's to be careful.
Yes.
And you know, we have the masks. They're there for everybody to wear. It's a law. Right now it is a law. And I know there's a lot of people that go against certain things for being outside, being farther away from people as much as you can, being safe and smart about things. You don't want to get sick. You don't want to get other people sick. Now, if you have questions, I want you to go ahead and give her a call. The one thing I love about you, and I just talked to my daughter about you, I think I told you that earlier this week, or last week it was, when she had that same thing happen. They all went, the younger people went out. Now you're finding more the younger people now getting, infected, and she's scared to death. And I said, you know what? You really need to talk to Dr. Laura. And the reason why that I love about you more than anything, first of all, being a naturopathic, but the way that you are, your heart, and the way that you are so passionate, and the way that you talk to people, and women especially, I must say, I'm sure that women resonate with you. For some reason, I feel it does.
Thank you. I had a quick thought. Are we done?
But real quickly,
Quick thought. Look, you young people, you have parents, you have grandparents, and you don't realize that while you're out partying, sharing your food with friends and drink, that now you maybe potentially expose your older people to this problem, this disease.
The phone number to call her is 480-306-8111. It's mesadr for doctor.com. Did you like that?
It goes so fast.
It does.
Well, it does. It does. And the top of the hour, we start right at, we don't start at 12.
Right.
We start a little bit afterwards.
Still.
But Doctor, you're still live on Facebook, so
Okay,
I
good.
want you to be able to kind of talk to them and get anything out that you'd like to for the video part of it.
Do you have anything that you want
Well,
to share?
My son, my youngest
let's talk
son,
about your son when we get back on.
is a nurse. He's a nurse at an emergency room.
If that'd be okay to reveal.
I'm not going to say what his name is. Or,
Okay.
he works as an ER nurse in a hospital here in the valley, and he came to us last week and he tested positive. His fever was almost 103 degrees. Heart rate was very high. He was very sick for a couple days, but he's improving now.
And now is he at home?
He's at home. He's been in quarantine, away from everybody for it's been a week now.
Yeah. It's just it's very scary with what happened.
Yes.
I wish they would have opened it. If they did open it, I wish they opened it differently.
Yes.
Slower.
Yes.
And not the way that they did.
Yes.
And, but
Yes.
it's become, well, it started. It didn't just become. It's been like this since day one. It's nuts.
Here's
Yeah.
something that I heard just recently with the closing of the gyms, that, and I feel, look, my heart goes out to every business owner that is now being restricted and strangled by this thing and not trying to figure out if they're going to have to close down. I myself question whether I'm going to be staying viable through this. So I understand the pressures of paying rent and your lease and all of that. But I had somebody question the reasoning behind closing the gyms especially, and I have one person who has been exposed by somebody who was COVID positive in the gym, and he got freaked out and very upset because he has a wife and a baby, and his wife has a disabled sibling. So the person said there wasn't scientific backing in order to like close things up, and I don't know how much more scientific you can get by doing statistics and doing the numbers, but also check in with the hospitals. Call the hospitals directly if you don't believe this is a real thing, because I'm still hearing this nonsense that people think this is not real and that it's being propaganda by the media and it's about the presidential election and all this stuff. Call your local hospital. Ask them directly, what are your numbers? How are you all doing? Check in with them. Do some volunteering work. If you don't think this is real, go and volunteer at a testing center. You know, just help handle the cars that are coming in.
You heard her. If
Volunteer.
you don't think so, maybe you know somebody. Tell them
Go
about it.
research this yourself and go in there.
Welcome back, everyone. You know, the passion that is here right now, especially with, right now, especially, Doc, I think you are no matter what with your patients and all that, but right now especially, I think you see what's going on. You're firsthand, and thank you for that, and thank you for being there, and thank you for going out into your parking lot and doing testing for people and helping either ease their mind or knowing people, knowing what's going on with them.
So here's the issue with I don't know any other practitioners that are going out in the parking lots. I go home every day and think, what am I doing? What we look at each other, go, what? We're playing in the dirty sandbox, and then we're wanting our healthy patients to come in and get their procedures done and stuff. And we are testing ourselves, and we are doing the right things. We're using our Cavi wipes on everything as we go along. We have our full gear on, and we're doing everything right because we haven't gotten sick yet. I had one person who we tested got very angry with me when she found out that we actually had an exposure, and look, you don't know who you're getting exposed to because people lie. We had somebody come in our office who lied, who didn't tell us that they were waiting for their swab test to come back, and it came back positive. I had to shut my office, clean it down. We had to go through our protocols one more time. People don't lie. If you get swabbed, you are supposed to stay home and isolate until you get results back.
Now, we also wanted to talk a little bit of a story with your
Yes.
son that works at a hospital, Dr. Cynthia.
Yes, my son
Up on
came,
the mic.
my son came home with it, or he came to our office last week. He was running symptoms, was sent home from work. He was running a fever that was almost 103 degrees. His heart was racing. It was over 130 beats per minute. He tested positive, and he's self-isolated. He's home, and he will be home for 14 days, and he has to prove that he is free of the virus before he can go back to work.
Sure. And, one of the things that you said, Doctor, and before we go into some of the other things that we wanted to talk about was people out there listening, I want to say it on the radio, which is, if you don't believe that this is real, and these people are firsthand, they're right there, first-handers to know exactly what's going on, She said to call your hospitals, find out what their numbers are, go and volunteer, see what's going on. When you see that firsthand, you're going to see this is real. It isn't something that you can just play with. It isn't something that's a game here or something that's political or anything like that. The virus is real. I want to talk a little bit about the office, because one of the things that you do, besides that COVID's overcome over most everything, is that you help people in a natural way be able to take care, feel better about themselves, right? A lot of people deal with pain. Dr. Cynthia, I know that you do pain shots. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I actually do prolotherapy and PRP shots. It is a way to get your body to respond and heal itself. We inject it's dextrose and procaine and a little bit of B12 into the area where the pain is. And the body responds by bringing the growth factors to the area to build collagen and strengthen ligaments and tendons. We can add PRP, which is derived from the blood, which makes it an even more effective injection because the PRP has more growth factors in it, so it's even better.
It's interesting, as I started talking before, everybody has a life, right? And in that life, people get sick, people have pain, their hormones are going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all sorts of things, different things that you might want to talk about that you do take care of people for. But, it's like this COVID thing just became, look at how it took over the first whole half of the segment,
Yeah. So it is.
I mean,
It is what it
unfortunately,
is.
but we want to live our life too, and we want to be able to take care of your pain and all of the things that you're dealing with. So please listen up. If you are, don't just put it off just because COVID's around. Take care of yourself no matter what, because that's going to calm down things too. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, your immune system's going to go down, right?
Right.
Doc, why am I talking? You
right.
talk.
Yeah, when somebody's in pain causes a lot of problems, especially depression. And because you can't work out, you're gaining weight, and you're
Look
not
at me.
feeling well.
Look what happened.
Because you're in pain. So we want to offer half-price rapid test, finger test for the virus. With any injection that we do, we're also offering buy one joint, get the second joint half price for our injections. We also have biologics that are even more effective than, they're just different. I can't say they're more effective or not. It's just for different cases require different kinds of injections. So we have very high level injections and experience in what we're doing. I've had it done in my body, and I think it's just wonderful. It works really good for pain.
Here again, I want people to understand whatever you're dealing with, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are reaching for help and they're not getting answers. Coming to a naturopathic, this is great to be able to have somebody that can help you in using different modalities than maybe you're used to. And their phone number to call direct, it's 480-306-8111. They do free consultations. She's located in Mesa. The website is mesadr for doctors, so mesadr.com. What else do you want to talk about today?
I want to really encourage everybody to this holiday weekend to stay home, have a little barbecue in your backyard. Don't go out to parties, especially your young people. I want to really emphasize that. Remember, you have parents and grandparents, and once you get infected, let me tell you, my young people are freaking out and worried and feel sick. Once sick, heart sick, that they may have infected their grandparent, and this infection is very deadly to the elderly for sure. So please think about not yourself, but try to think about your family members as you're going about and being acting dangerously if you're going to go out in a big group of people.
You also wrote an article that you write monthly on this paper here, and I wanted to kind of know, you wanted to talk a little bit about it, so I want to make sure that you do get to that a little bit.
So when I wrote this article, this was on as of May 15th.
In the paper what? What paper?
Oh, this is the Groves, up close.
Yeah.
It's
I want to
called.
make sure that they got it out because somebody might want to check it out.
Yeah, it's the East Mesa newspaper area. But as of May 15th, we had 11,380 active infected cases. As of now, we have over 80,000 people actively infected right now in the state of Arizona. I don't know if people can understand that. We jumped from 11,000 to 80,000 in 1 month. That's
And
a
that's all because
fourfold
they
jump.
opened up those businesses
We
too
had
fast.
Memorial Day weekend celebration, and then we had the protesting. And anytime there's some kind of group gathering, watch the numbers in the next 2 weeks. In any state where you see any of these things going on, the numbers will jump. That's why. It's not because we're doing more testing, by the way. It's because we're becoming more infected. And it's requiring more testing because people are scared and they're sick and they have to get tested in order to go back to work or whatever.
Why does this spread so fast? Why, just like you said, it's like wildfire.
Well, there's this diagram for anybody who's going to see this on Facebook. One person spreads it to 2, and those 2 spread it to 4, and those 4 spread it to 8. It's exponentially how the scientific numbers work for that person who said there wasn't scientific data about closing the gyms. Is it only takes one person to then create a epidemic if people that they spread it to don't quarantine themselves, and we don't do contact tracing. Contact tracing is so important because then you contact everybody that you infected or possibly infected, and they all can then stay home, be careful, get tested, and not continue to spread it to the community. And right now we are on fire. This is a wildfire almost getting out of control in our state. If we double this in the next month, there is no stopping this spread.
Well, I'll tell you something, guys. It's really important that we do take care of ourselves, take care of your immune systems, take care of what you're doing as a person, what you do. Go out there, wear those masks. What do you want to say as the final words? Yeah, go ahead. Come on, I want you to say something.
What do you want me to say?
It's affected your family.
Oh, my personal
directly.
family, right? I haven't seen my
Who's a
son.
healthcare worker working in the emergency room, so if anybody doesn't think it's real.
I got to see
I
her,
think
yeah.
what I see more than anything is they're frustrated. They're saying, hey guys, we want to do our job. You want to help people feel better and be able to do all the stuff you
Yeah, I'd
normally
like
do.
to open my practice to do normal procedures and that, and this is affecting my business along with everybody else's business being affected because we cannot do all of our
The
simple,
normalcy.
regular procedures we would like to do in office.
So how can you help? You can help by staying home. You can help by wearing your mask. You can help
Wear
by
your
being smart.
mask.
Wear your mask,
Wear
like
your
she's saying.
mask.
You can hear it. You can feel that frustration. They do want to help you. They have wonderful deals on there. That if you're dealing with pain, if you have that and you want to have that COVID test, they're doing half off on those as well. You can check them out on their website. It's Mesa. DR for doctor, so mesadr.com. Write this number down. I know that I told my daughter about it, and that's what networking is all about. Tell people about this when you hear someone that would really like to go to someone who cares. That number to call is 480-306-8111. They do free consultations. They're outside in their full gear in this heat doing COVID testing in their parking lot if you need. 480-306-8111.
Thank you, Carol. I just feel like we don't get anything done.